Hello, darlings! I'm DarthShadie Lavellan, and today I am accompanied by three special friends.
Hi, I'm Cole from the Kingdom.
Hi, I'm Lady Sulevin.
And I'm Don from Crimson Wolf.
And we're here to discuss companions. Woo! So, okay, Lace Harding.
Ooh, starting off strong.
Oh my gosh. All right, so she was definitely a fan favorite from Inquisition, and a lot of people were frustrated that we couldn't romance her when they teased us with the flirt option. I'm so excited that she's back. She's such a great character.
She's adorable.
I love Hardy. Like every small interaction with her, like in Inquisition, is just amazing, and you wanted her to join you in every little aspect of it. So I'm very happy she's like a full-on companion now.
See, the thing I remember most about Harding is one conversation you can have with her in Inquisition where she mentions her family and how she loves them so much, and I'm just really excited to see more of who she is as a person, what her actual personal life is like beyond I'm an Inquisition scout, so it's exciting.
We don't have a lot of companions that are like on good terms with their families.
Yeah, so it's refreshing. And what I noticed from the gameplay is that obviously she's older, but it's as though, because in Inquisition she's more lighthearted. She gives, she gives the rundown every time. She makes the jokes when after defeating Hakon and everything. But in the gameplay for the Veilguard, I get the impression that there's something weighing heavily on her, not just like beyond the soulless thing that's happening, but she's more sober. You know, she still has her perky personality, but there's something weighing on her that I want to discover and comfort her.
It might be that she's more battle hardened at this point.
Yeah.
Yep, that's kind of the idea I was getting. Like she's been through a lot more. She's taken on more responsibility.
And like she has a build up to where she's been kind of tasked along with like Beric to kind of like track Sodas down, and not knowing whatever they've gone through might have changed some of her perspectives or like how to handle Sodas and everything he's doing. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get like a quest line kind of like we do with like Liliana in Origins, where you have to kind of talk to her and see what route she'll take. Like I'm probably not as hard as where it's like you have to kill like Liliana's old companion and it changes her perspective of things, but maybe something similar into that vein.
I like that. Do we want to talk about her supposed magic powers?
Yeah.
I mean, I have mixed feelings about it right now. I'm hoping it's just like it's not on the level of Valta, but like more like she discovers she can do small things, and it excites her, but it also scares her.
I was just saying, I'm wondering if it's related to the ritual and not, Titans and, the Volta related thing.
Yeah, I was thinking the ritual too.
Well, I'm assuming like whatever Sodas does with his ritual, it's going to affect, I think, a lot of the dwarves, because again, what we had in the Descent, that we saw apparently dwarves used to be something completely different. So it may not just be Harding. You might see things ripple to a lot of the dwarves where their immunity to magic or resistance to it completely changes into something that we probably don't even really expect. Not to the same level as Valta, but to a degree like we probably don't know exactly what the dwarves can now be capable of.
Yeah, and I get the impression that if the Titans are awakening, then the magic that was dormant in dwarves, making them believe that they had no magic, is now also awakening.
It also would just be cool if we could just have the first dwarven mage as a companion.
Yeah.
Although it's interesting because our dwarf rook cannot be a mage. They've confirmed that.
You can't be a dwarf mage, but Harding can. That feels like a tease. It's like
It does. It does.
If you have to say like this one can't be a mage, then yeah, that's like, oh, but the other one, the other dwarf could definitely be.
I'm just expecting a cameo from Sandal, just being like, "Yeah, I told you so." Exactly.
Oh, good. If Sando does not come back in one of these games.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I told you all the magic would come back.
Except he can speak complete full sentences now and tell you exactly what's going on. That would be
Oh my
just a
god.
shot.
I want to see Sandal with a beard. I don't know why that's hilarious to me.
No!
Actually, no. He's going to challenge Varric for the most chest hair.
Oh god.
Yeah, all right, so Neve.
I love her.
I love her too. I'm excited to have a detective.
Same.
I need to know more about Neve. I also need to what happened with her leg. I need to know details on her backstory.
Oh, that'll be interesting. Plus, Venatori are after her. I don't think it just has to do with her freeing slaves. Like, what did she do to piss them off, you know?
You mean in addition to the stuff from Streets
Yeah.
of Minrathous?
Yeah, in addition to stopping them from unleashing that. If it's just that, well, it's like, oh, you stopped us from unleashing a demon, we're mad. There's gotta be more to make it more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming she's just been involved in hassling anything maybe higher ups into Ventur or the Venatori, just anything that I think she just causes. I don't want to say so much. She might cause chaos for them, but I think she's more like a justice fighter for the most part. Is what the impression I get from her. So I think she's just been trying to change the Ventur from inside and doing a lot what she can. Like for instance, she helps Varric and Harding when they get to the city. So I think she's just up interrupting a lot of the Ventur status quo. So that might just be it.
You think she's also behind the scenes helping Dorian?
I would expect so.
I feel like she's our connection to Dorian, maybe.
I'm about to say if she knows Varric, I wouldn't be surprised if either Varric introduced her to Dorian or Dorian introduced her to Varric. So I think there might be a strong connection between the two of them, and you might get exactly how she's helped Dorian so far, because she also might be who Dorian implored to figure out what happened to his dad at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
I like that. I'm curious. Okay, I want to talk a bit about the Shadow Dragons because I don't like the name. It's like
Oh,
it's like cliche almost. Or it's corny.
It's
Well,
that's what makes it cool.
it sounds like mobsters. I think it's because I read some Japanese romance stories, and in one of them there's the ice dragon. So I like the name because it reminds me of the ice dragons, but then it sounds like the name of a mafia, you know. So
Yeah, I could see that.
I think the name is a little on the nose because again, to Ventur, they're always doing dragons, and then just the people work in shadows. I think it's a very obvious name. I don't hate it, but could have gone with something a little bit more inconspicuous, maybe.
yeah, I get what you're saying.
I wonder what the translation would be in Davin. Like, I'm gonna bust out a Latin translator. Hold on.
Oh, I left my dictionary upstairs. I have a Latin dictionary.
Run, go grab it.
Umbra
Isn't-
Dracones. It's a little better. The Umbra Dracones.
Yeah, but that's a pain to say every time.
Yeah.
That's why they went with Shadow Dragon.
They might give you a hint to that inside the game. Someone either tells you this is our actual name, but Child Dragon is just literally easier to say. That might be the explanation.
Yeah. Yeah. Also considering what for the circulum infinitus, which are actual two words in Latin but do not follow grammatically, would either have to be circulum infinitum or circulis infinitis. I had the intonation wrong there. So it was probably easier to have just the English name, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And this is where Latin geeks start commenting and
I am curious. So we already know Neve works with the Child Dragons, and we saw in the trailer Rook, I guess the character they were using as the introduction. Do we still see Rook later on? If you don't, I guess choose him as your starting character, because I guess there's several
Wait, what do you mean?
backstories to go with. So in the trailer, you use Rook as the main protagonist. That's your player character.
Right.
So I'm wondering that Rook has to be a character that's just in general there because if he already has like from like I'm just going off the wiki, just looking at Shadow Dragons and looking at Rook. Is he still just going to be a general character that we encounter with the Shadow Dragons, or is he just going to be someone that just was a one-off use?
It's probably just it's going to be a deal like Inquisition,
Yeah.
where each of your player characters were each of your potential player characters, like if you were a human, then Adar still existed but probably died at the Conclave.
I was
I wonder
also
if we'll
thinking
come
maybe
across the alternates.
actually I was thinking maybe is Rook also just probably a title they give you. Like for instance, as far as
Yeah.
when I heard Rook, I thought like a chess piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
they've
it's a title, and because your character's gonna have a name in addition to the title of Rook.
Yeah,
It
I
might
think
just
they
be a
said the
general
name is based on, I think, your faction and backstory. I think they said that. I can't remember where.
I assume it's your race, or maybe it's both. Sorry, yeah,
I wanted to
companions.
ask Lady Sulevin your general thoughts about Neve.
My general thoughts about Neve. Well, of course I love her. I think she immediately won my heart when I saw her in the game reveal, and I'm excited to see specifically her companion quest because I'm curious if it relates to her being a detective.
Yeah. All right, so Lucanis de la Morte. Okay, so I have been in love with Lucanis ever since Tevinter Nights came out, ever since I read The Wigmaker, and legit, I was groggily checking my tablet when the trailer came out, and according to my husband, I have never bounced out of bed that fast. I was jumping and screaming, Lucanis, Lucanis! I am so excited. I'm so in love with this character. I'm so excited. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Well, what exactly draws you to him?
Oh, I think it's the broody assassin, his magic, his magic. He detects magic by a prickling in his eyes. So he has this special ability. Was he born with it? What happened? And also, we kind of learn, the rigorous training, the military, rigorous, almost abusive training that he received to become one of the best assassins of all the Antivan crows. Like, it kind of hardens you, but it's like there's gotta be like we also see that he's broody, but he also has a lot of empathy and compassion because he lingers behind and does what he needs to help the slaves, to that he encounters the slaves and he can't just ignore that, so he's someone who appears to also have a lot of compassion for the plight of others and potentially for people who get close to him.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, I agree with all of that. I want to say, gosh, he's definitely one of the ones I'm looking forward to. He's in my top 3 that I'm most looking forward to interacting with. Yeah, because like you said, like he is broody and has gone through training from hell, but he's still compassionate, he's still empathetic, he's still a good person. And so I imagine part of his story is going to be kind of like breaking down his walls and figuring out who he really is and who he wants to be.
Yeah.
I like he seems to be the companion with the most inner conflict so far that we know of. And I think that's what makes me like him so much, because I want to do this, but all of this, what am I going to do? And I think that's what makes a really good character.
Yeah. And there's that short story where he potentially died, but I was so excited that I was correct that he faked his death. But what's the story behind that? Did he do that because of the Venatori hunting him? Did he do that so that Ilario could be the first Talon? Because he does not want to be the first Talon. So the purpose behind that, the motivations, or will we choose who the first Talon will be?
Actually, now that you mention it, yeah, I could see that being a choice, like convincing Lucanis to take the office or encouraging him to stay away from it.
Is he
It
just gonna
feels
be
kind of like. Sorry.
I was about to say he's gonna be another plotline to put someone in a position of power as an ally. So that seems to be a running theme.
It feels like reminiscent of the choice in Origins with Alistair, maybe? Like, whether or not to make Alistair king, I mean.
Yeah.
Mhm. I also thought, like, this thing in Origins, I thought he was also going to have a similar plot line to Davrin, where maybe he faked his death to escape the crows, but
Yeah, and it could also be similar to when we were choosing who would be the divine, who would be the first Talon. But it could also just be, you know, he faked his death, Ilario's the first Talon, and, you know, then...
I wasn't going to say this, but you mentioned it twice. Do you think Lucanis trusts Ilario to be the first Talon? Do you think he has enough confidence in him to fake his death so that Ilario could take the office?
I think so. He blatantly tells Ilario he doesn't want the position.
But he also kind of chastises him.
Yeah, but
like in that chastisation could just be him trying to build him up to be that. Like you have to criticize him and everything to make sure hey, you don't make these mistakes, and it's a teaching moment a lot of times rather than just criticizing.
Yeah, and it feels also like he might have kept his... It seemed like Viago and Taya knew about the fake death, but Ilario didn't, because Ilario would have given it away.
Right.
You know, so Ilario is kept in the dark until Lucanis decides to reveal.
Mm-hmm.
It also might just be another plotline to where Lucanis is our introduction into Ilario, because he may have already become the head already, and he might just be introduction to, hey, I know someone in the crows that can help us, or like very high up, so he could just be our introduction into that, and Ilario has been promoted to that at this point.
And maybe their rivalry comes into play in either building the friendship with Lucanis or an alliance with Ilario.
Ooh, I could see that being a plotline to where maybe Ilario is maybe tempted to join Solus' side, and that might be a quest line to see to either get him with, I guess, Inquisition side or Solus. And at that, I will hope you don't have it to where Lucanis and Ilario are in a fight.
Oh yeah, that would be tough.
Yeah.
I could say this at any point, but I just want to comment. For some reason, Lucanis looks like he gives good hugs.
He has.
I don't know why.
He has a bit of a Keanu Reeves vibes going about it from the trailer. I'm not opposed to that. He looks different from, more facial hair than what I had pictured initially, but I'm liking the look, and I look forward to discovering, what lies beneath the surface.
Mm-hmm.
He looks a lot like my boyfriend, and I can confirm he's going to give the best hugs.
Aww. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's great to conclude for Lucanis, so let's move on to Bellara.
Bellara, I have a couple first impressions about the looks of some of these characters, like Lucanis gives good hugs. For Bellara, for some reason, it screams in my head, she looks like she has a good relationship with her parents. Particularly her dad. I don't know why, that's just the feeling I get when I look at her.
I am reminded of the behind the scenes where they show a clip of the voice actors going, no, that's the good kind of rumble. So and when she's jumping, she doesn't look like scared or anything in the trailer. She looks like all this adrenaline pumping through her body, like she's so excited to be dabbling with all these trinkets and running around saving the world. Like she seems like she has a bubbly personality, and she's going to be a very fun, lighthearted character, but at the same time have a soft and deeper emotional side to her,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She feels like the kind of character that, well, like you said, Cole, has a good relationship with their parents because she seems like someone who was always encouraged. Like, you go for it, honey. You go do that. You go save the world.
Yeah.
I love her personality.
I get the feeling she's like a mix between Meryl and Sarah a little bit with her personality. Well, very innocent but playful.
Yeah.
I could see that. I imagine she's less naive than Meryl and also more mature than Sarah, though.
I'm about to say, that's not very hard to be more. That's not
Yeah,
even Meryl,
okay,
though.
Do we have confirmation on her class?
She is a mage.
She is a mage. Okay.
Actually, she's her.
I can't tell if she's a mage or a rogue.
It's like a
She's-
rogue mage.
Yeah, I think they kind of worked in multi-classing a little bit. Not really, but like a mage can use daggers and bows, I think. I can't confirm that, but I think I heard it.
I'm also looking at like her affiliation is like veil jumpers, which is interesting because they're the ones who just go through the veil trying to fix it and just can navigate through it. So that's really interesting. Like,
Which is weird on its own. And I guess we'll talk more about that in our general feelings about Veilguard segment. But
I can picture her like, oh, you want to visit the Black Emporium? Okay. Snaps her fingers and like, whoa, okay.
Actually, that would be a funny concept where she's just jumping in and out the veil and kind of like teleport. I don't want to say teleport because we can't actually do that in Dragon Age, but kind of that's what she uses it for. Kind of like to surprise you. She jumps into the veil and jumps out right next to you.
I could see that. That would be funny. It
Yeah.
says on the EA website, it says she's obsessed with uncovering secrets of ancient Elvenon.
Oh, not another one. No.
Oh,
Why?
We found the
What's wrong with
traitor.
What's wrong with the elves every time?
she's got that really weird gauntlet made of triangles that.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
that
one
kind
that
of
looks like it
places-
just kind of
She
floats
just-
around.
Yeah.
The veil jumper magic, which I've noticed when in Dragon Age Inquisition, if you do Dorian's slow time magic at a certain angle, it looks like translucent triangles. And we
Interesting.
know that Tevinter borrowed a lot from the elves, so is it time magic?
I think Neve can do time magic.
Ugh, I hope we leave that in Inquisition. Like, I liked it, but I don't know. I'd like to step away from time magic because that's yeah.
I agree with that because it just makes things wonky and it throws things out. I'd rather leave it alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But for the weapon, it might just be in our Latin artifact or like just ancient weapons. They still have abilities to make in like the Arlathan forest, so it could just be that, or they rediscovered it, perhaps probably because of sodas.
Perhaps. All right. Any final thoughts regarding Bellara?
She's probably my third or fourth choice for romance.
Haha.
All right.
I've
So
not
wait, there's
chosen romance
Harding. There's
options yet.
All
It's
right.
got bestie vibes, I think.
Yeah, definitely bestie vibes. All right, so Emmrich with his skeletal companion. So it's like a 2-in-1.
I don't know what to think about Emmrich because like he didn't really, in Down Among the Dead Men, he didn't really like grab my attention.
No, exactly, because I was expecting Audric as our companion.
I was expecting either Aldrich or the Mortalitasi woman that was with him.
Yeah. I do like his sophisticated gentleman look.
Mm-hmm.
He is. He does seem like the older of like all of our companions and everything. So it's gonna be. I think he's gonna have fun interactions with us. If not, probably be the strict old timer that's just around us.
No, I get the impression that he's gonna whip out those wise, words of wisdom. Not the typical back in my day thing, but like when I was younger, or just express knowledge that only he has in a very sophisticated way. He looks. I haven't heard his voice, but he looks like someone I could listen to read a book to me for hours.
Be our new win in this one, like where he just takes like on a grandfather role then.
Yeah, I was thinking Win. And the other, like, grandparent companion that BioWare has was Drac from Mass Effect Andromeda. He was very much a grandfather figure. And for some reason, I imagine Win and Drac would get along very well. And so I wonder if Emerage is going to be, like, in between them?
And
Yeah.
you can flirt with Drac, but you can romance Emerage.
Oh my god.
Wonder if his assistant is going to watch.
Oh! Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Look, as a middle-aged woman, I can appreciate the older characters just as much as the 30-somethings, 20-somethings, and Emrich is definitely second on my list for romances. He seems like a very tender, caring, even for friendships, like a very, not just a polite gentleman, but like a gentle person. Like he gets his minions, he gets his skeletal minions to do the dirty work, but he still carries a handkerchief to keep his hands clean type thing.
Oh.
I might be able to provide an outside opinion. So my boyfriend doesn't really like Dragon Age or anything, but he saw the trailer for the trailer that came out before the game reveal, and he's like, and then he saw Emmrich and he's like, oh, I like that one.
Okay.
Like, oh, why? And he says, because he doesn't seem like a stereotype.
Huh.
Was his answer. It's like, you expect the two people that are reaching into the crypt to be the other companions, and then he turns up behind them and it's like, oh, that's a surprise. He's going to surprise you in this game. And I'm like, huh, alright.
Yeah, I can see that.
For some reason, he makes me think of Disney movies.
Ah,
I don't know if that's a thing, but like,
He's a
what
Disney princess,
aspect?
but with skeletons.
or maybe like a good version of Jafar.
Oh,
I could see that.
I don't know why I got Maleficent vibes. I was like, because I thought.
Oh, you
mage
know,
and everything.
Maleficent. Now that you mention it, I could see that. I don't know.
Have you ever
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, what's that musical that Star Kid, or I think it was, Twisted, where it was Good Jafar, and that just put me in mind of that. It's just Emmerich singing. Oh,
Dragon Age the musical.
I need it.
You need a singing number in the game now.
In my tarot prediction that I did with my friend Sid when we did the Who Might Betray Us, he said it would be the quiet one in the corner. And so some people, my mind went Lucanis, but some people are saying Emmrich might betray us because he might be more quiet, because he's wiser. He doesn't just blurt things out. He waits for the appropriate time to express himself. But I can actually see him being quite chatty.
I could see that.
I mean, he hangs out
Especially
with
over tea.
skeletons. Of course he's going to be chatty. Who's he going to talk to, Manfred?
I would hope he wouldn't be the one to betray us. I would hope not, because a necromancer betraying us would kind of seem like on the nose, like, I don't want that.
Yeah. All right. So next up is Davrin, our Grey Warden companion, who is an elf with a Valasleen, which gets me very curious to what his backstory is. Was he... he's not a mage, so it's not like the clan didn't have room for him, but was he attacked by Darkspawn and became a warden to save his life? That would be kind of like Antoine, but it's a possibility.
Mm-hmm. It definitely seems like he believes in the wardens.
Yes.
I'm assuming he's also the one we saw, I guess, behind the scenes for the trailer and everything.
Yes.
I don't know what to make of him, because in like a lot of promotion art, he has like I'm not sure if it's a griffin. I'm not sure what it is with him in the images.
There's a griffin.
There's a griffin, yep. But I'm more interested to see what his story is, especially with like the last fight and everything, and how he probably connects to that. What can we learn about the wardens from him? And also, more interesting, like if the wardens are all on YSF, why is he here with us?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
Maybe they're, I don't know.
There's also like no like if you go like the wiki, there's no backstory or anything on him. He's literally just introduced in this game and that's it. He's the more like the biggest question for me right now is like what's your connection? What are you here for? And exactly what is his backstory being a data shuffle with the wardens? Because that's always like just an interesting backstory for any character.
Yeah.
I mean, Tash, and Bellara have the least amount of information. I'm glad, for one thing, that we get an Elven Grey Warden warrior. Like, those three things together, I think, is a very good addition. And also, obviously, the Griffin. And, yeah, if we just don't have any real information about him, and that's too bad, because I really feel like I'm gonna like him.
Yeah, from the behind the scenes, what he says, nobody dies on my watch. It sounds like he's protective of his friends, of his group. So I'm guessing there's obviously a reason why he joins the Veilguard, why he joins Rook, and I can see him becoming, he's a tank, so I can see him, being very protective of his friends and the caring one who looks out for everyone.
My impression when I saw him, I was thinking about this the other day. When I look at him, he looks like he has a little sister that he is fiercely protective over.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's the vibe I get.
You get like these family vibes.
I do.
It's really sweet.
Looking at his character, I'm wondering. This is why I get suspicious of characters. Not like everybody wants to trust you or something. Like, oh no, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'm wondering if the first one sent him with us to like just investigate what's going on. Kind of like how we had Iron Bull and Inquisition who was sent by the Qunari. I wonder if it's just the same thing only with the Grey Wardens.
Oh, that would make sense.
I'm like, I want to trust you, but at the same time, I'm like, no, I want to be suspicious of somebody right now, and since I have no information about this man.
Yeah.
The official thing it says in the EA website is it describes him as bold and charming. This Grey Warden has made a name for himself as a monster hunter. Now he cares for a young griffin. That is interesting because to me it says that the griffin is a new development. So I'm wondering if he joins us because he's trying to get out of Weishaupt with a griffin.
Oh, to protect
because something happened.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's interesting. I could see that.
Yeah.
We're better to hide him than in a interdimensional portal place.
Yeah, that's true. That's really interesting. All right, so Tash, which in Kunlat means both dragon and glory. So initially, I was a little disappointed that our Kunar companion is not Quidian, but I am super intrigued by Tash. I'm intrigued by the Lords of Fortune. These are new faction, and Tash is a dragon hunter. So we're going to be probably encountering a lot of dragons and a lot of giant beings, risen gods included. So Tash seems like the fearless type of person, like, yeah, we're jumping in the fray. Let's do this.
The name Tash, because it comes from Kunlat, that makes me think that she is Tal Vishath, not as opposed to just Vishath.
Yeah.
Like she was born in the Qun and chose to leave it.
Makes sense.
She is going to be interesting because again, she's part of Lords of Fortune, which I guess are the best hunters that we know of at Thetis. And I guess that just makes sense why she's joined us, because if Varric or Harding recruited her, we want somebody who can hunt down like these whatever creatures we're going to be fighting at this point, because I'm not sure what we're going to be in store for. But she's interesting. Again, not too much backstory on her, but I guess I feel like she's going to be very quippy, especially if you're a dragon hunter. I feel like that has to be a vibe that you have to give off. You have to throw a lot of quips while fighting a giant beast.
Yeah. Tash is definitely the biggest unknown for me.
Yeah, when I think quippy for me goes to either Harding or Bellara, but given the history of Dragon Age, there's usually going to be a lot almost all our companions are gonna have some quips. So yeah, I could definitely see Tash leaning in that direction. I doubt she'll be as jovial as the Iron Bull. I don't think they would want to do that twice in a row.
Yeah, and in there's that image of all the companions in the lighthouse. She seems bored, like she doesn't like sitting around. So I can see her with the banter, in banter and in conversations, like wanting to get things along. Like let's go out there, like stop dilly dallying. Being the one to urge people on.
I don't know why. I'm getting like, if you've played Baldur's Gate like 3, and she gives me like vibes of Karlach from there. That's kind of what I'm imagining.
I can see that. But she seems more like a thrill seeker. Like she always wants to be doing something.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping she's not gonna be just, like Sten and Iron Bull, where it's just like, yep, I'm here to get a job done and fight things. That's my personality. So I'm really hoping there's more layers to her. But obviously we don't have too much information on her, so...
Yeah.
Do we want?
I assume she wouldn't go that route, because, again, if Cole's right and she hasn't actually been with the Qunari and she just left, then she's a lot more free, and she won't be as like strict as Sten was, and she won't be as conflicted as Iron Bull with it.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about her weird glowing horn?
Yeah, because potion or green lyrium, or it could be a number of things. It could be ore.
I like the idea that I just liquor inside the horn.
Yes. She just snaps it off and starts drinking out of it.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I want that exactly.
It's Madori. What else could it be?
Oh my gosh.
Sweet candy watermelon alcohol. It would be funny if she was like, we fight a dragon, and she's like, all right, she snaps the horn, takes a swig, snaps it back on. There we go.
I literally, if it is like, I literally imagine like in the final fight, you're behind a wall with her and everything, and she just takes the horn off like, well, if we're gonna die, might as well do it drunk.
No, it's like, how the hat where you keep all of your things inside it and you just take it off, like, right, these are my keys, this is here's like $5, there you go. I want that to happen now.
Yeah, it's what's the story behind that? And was it a fluke accident and then she replaced the horn, or was it done on purpose?
I would imagine she lost it either like in a dragon fight or something, like something pretty much obvious to where she actually lost it. But if they're also treasure hunters, she also probably just found a nice looking gem and decided, I'm gonna just carve this into a new horn, and it's just a spoil of like her hunts and everything. So because it looks like she's fashioned with a lot of that.
Yeah, like a trophy. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and so I mean, if it's a gem, it could be what's that ore called? Veil something.
Veil quartz.
Veil quartz. There we go. But what if it's green lyrium?
Green lyrium, as in
that hangs above the pools of goop that turn tainted beings into Gilunnain's monsters.
That's a can of worms.
And then she's just walking around with that, and maybe people are going after her because they want the horn. Maybe Gilunnain wants the horn. Like it could, yes, a can of worms, but it would potentially add a lot of interesting plot lines to her story arc.
I agree.
Those are all the companions. And that's it for the companions. We also have this discussion in 4 parts, which I will link below, so you can check them all out on Crimson Wolf's, Lady Sulevin's, and Cole from the Kingdom's channels.